Hey guys, so today we are finally sitting down to do our home build Q&A. Very casual, all of our animals are in here. If you hear them, they're all in here. The toddler is at GG's, but we do have this little cutie with us. And it's funny, you know, I was thinking, so last August we did this video when we sat down to talk about the initial home build and like what we wanted from it. And we had Ezra. And here we are a year later with this little bean. And if you would have told me I would have had 2 kids by the time I was filming this video, I would have laughed at you. So we have lived in this home for 1 month. I have shared a full home tour here, and then I also have shared tons of vlogs about it. So there's like a lot of things you can get throughout those, but this is just kind of our thoughts after 1 month of living here. And we'll start out with what's your favorite part of the house and favorite thing that you did that's not common?
The like hidden pantry off the kitchen, for sure.
Yeah.
The kitchen itself is
pretty cool.
Yeah, from what we were used to this is a big difference.
I think mine is, this isn't gonna shock anybody, the shower situation. So the we actually, funny enough, had never seen our home built in like picture form. And I saw a picture the other day, and did you ever end up seeing a home fully built?
Where they did the half splash wall?
Yeah, so we saw the house plan built 100% according to like the house plans, no changes, like none of the revisions that we made. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I hated it. Like it could have just been the finishes of it. The finishes were so bad that they picked, but had I seen those photos, I probably would not have picked the house plan.
It was whatever style they went for, it was very dated.
Super dated, and it was built this year. So yeah, I'm very happy with the revisions that we did make, but I will say favorite part of the house is the shower for sure. Because when I saw it built the way it was supposed to go, I was like, ugh, I would not have liked that. What is something that you would see yourself updating in 10 or 20 years? That's a really good one.
I think we've already talked about this one. It would be the boys' bathrooms, adding full tile.
Yep, adding the outdoor kitchen.
The outdoor kitchen is not really 5 to 10, but the boys' bathrooms when they're like
older
and get ready to hit
their bathrooms.
Years, yeah. And like maybe not doing a tub. In Ezra's again, it would be just a full standing shower.
That's a great like cost saving thing that we did, but also cleaning wise, like I knew I was gonna be the one that's cleaning the bathroom. Like that's our trade-off. Sam does laundry, I do the bathrooms, and I was like, I'm gonna be the one that's having to scrub grout, and just like I wasn't in the mood for it. So I remember when I was in high school, we had tub inserts, and they are stupid easy to clean, and it's also way more affordable and cost effective, but that's a way to increase the value. So yeah, that's probably something nice.
And we needed a tub too while the kids are super little for bath time anyway, so this just
makes sense.
I didn't want a half tile bath bottom.
Yeah, because they are both boys, and I have a feeling if they want to take baths, they're probably gonna end up.
They won't. If Ezra is as tall as a teenager as he is right now, he will not fit in that bathtub by the time he's 13, 14.
Yeah, that's true. Not a question, just wanted to say how genuinely happy I am for you. It's so sweet how many of y'all have just been so cheerful for this house. We feel very blessed, and like I think we talk about it all the time, like how weird it is to be living out our dreams. That like we wanted a home, we wanted to, you know, have 2 boys, and we get to have it. So thank you. Okay, so this was one I kind of got a lot of. How did you find your architect and your builder? The architect, we actually, this was kind of a question we got in a couple different ways. We did not go to an architect and have the floor plan completely built up ourselves. We found it online, and I got a lot of, will you share your house plan? Will you share your house plan number? So if you are interested in building a home and you message me privately on Instagram, I will share the house number with you. But it is a decision we've made to not just post it free for all here, because we do have some freaks that watch our channel, and you never know just who's gonna come across something, and our kids live in this home, and I'm not willing to just let anybody who has, you know, made a creepy comment here or there just know every square inch of our home. Of course you're capable, like our brains are literally made to put puzzle pieces together, like you can probably figure it out, but it's just a comfort level thing. Living our lives on the internet, I would love to, as much as possible, keep that out of the hands of just anybody who wants access to our floor plan. So we purchased it. It was not a sit down with an architect, and if you are interested in building and you message me on Instagram, I will absolutely get you the full floor plan number, where we got it from. We did have to buy them. They are not cheap. I don't remember how much.
There's like 3 or 4 variations of this floor plan.
Yeah. So you can buy, what is it? You can buy it with the attic space completely closed in, or no? You buy it with the stairs in the garage. What is that?
So there's the one we picked, which is like a 1 level. There's the one that has, it's more bedrooms by doing a finished attic space.
Oh yeah.
I want to say it's 2 bedrooms, no bonus room, or 1 bedroom bonus room kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then there's one that is basement option, where if you're like building into a hill and you're going to have a massive crawl space, or be able to do a basement. And then obviously,
like we did but didn't realize.
And then like obviously there's the same thing of basement with upstairs. If you have both situations where you can do a basement and
that's right.
You want the upstairs. I think it went up to like 6 bedroom. Was the basement Yeah, I think it was basement and upstairs. If you wanted max bedroom number, I think you could get 6 because it was 2 upstairs.
That's insane.
And another one downstairs in the basement.
That's insane. Yeah, okay. Well, so there are some variations, like I said, just to do as much as we possibly can. We have decided to not put that just outright on the internet. Not sure about weather in your area, but did you put in a basement or a cellar? I'm in the Midwest. No, we did not. Also, we were not aware of the hill. So I was actually here the day that they broke ground on the house, and I was here when the builder and the grader were standing on the land going, oh my God, we're gonna have to build way more into this hill than we thought. Like, we are talking, no one knew how steep this land was until we built into it. So I mean, I don't think we would have maybe put in a basement had we known. I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference. I feel like we only wanted this house to have the space that we're planning on living in, so it wouldn't have seemed necessary. But we definitely were not expecting to be as built into a hill as we are. Or I think that, I mean, that might have, I love our house plan so much. I don't regret it at all. But I think if we would have known, we may have explored other options for other floor plans that are built into hills. But no, we did not.
I think that, like I said, the house has a plan that calls for a full basement. If you're like out west and you're thinking like tornado shelter, you need a basement.
Yeah,
it definitely
does.
You could definitely, we could have dug down deeper here and added one without changing like the steps into the front door or anything. We could have done all that.
Yeah.
We just didn't need that space or want it. We felt that it was big enough on its own. But you definitely could add one, like especially if you're like an out west, you need a tornado shelter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I wouldn't have wanted to change the floor plan. I think on the property, we could have moved the house location and better accounted for the hill.
Yeah,
if we would have went further up, it would have been, which I don't think we're not level match.
I was just saying, we kind of did it.
3.5, it's 3 steps to the porch, 1 step in.
The landscaper was incredible. He knew, he really was good at his job.
If we went further, we probably could have gotten it 2 stairs in the door, but then the back highest spot of the house in the crawl space is about 8.5 feet.
It's insane.
Standing to where I can like reach up and touch what is the bottom of the like subfloor, like OSB stuff. Then the lowest spot is like, I'm crawling, it's like 3.5 feet. So it's definitely angled into the hill. And if you would have, like I said, if we would have went further back or forth through the peach field, it probably would have.
I just can't, we had, these are experts, and literally they walked out after the initial grade and were like, oh, we're gonna have to dig into this hill way more. So it was not for lack of planning, it was, no one knew until that first dig happened and we saw the dirt that we were like, oh, okay.
But if you do want a basement, you definitely can have one. And I think the modified plans, upstairs or basement, it's where our mudroom is that I know you've shared and the lockers are, that basically extends out into the garage. You lose garage space, and that's where the staircase goes.
Yeah.
Up and down, either one. It's like one of those, it has a U in it, so you can go up or down.
True. So a couple questions about this, like curious about the whole process, building versus buying. So we can't speak much to building versus buying just because we simply did not ever buy. We rented prior to this. Our home is, we completely washed our hands of it. So I've had some people ask, like, are they selling it? Are they doing this? Are they that? Like, we just washed our hands of it entirely. And we rented and knew that we would move into a new build from that rental. So that was always the plan. We were gonna be at that house as long as possible. So as far as what we know, at least for just South Carolina, what we were kind of told from the bank that we initially were to go with, and then the one that we ended up going with was you have to have a higher credit score, you have to have more money down. I can't, there was like one other thing, I can't remember, but I know that those two are a pretty big deal. Like you do have to have more money down. And then you do have to already have your house plan decided on when you go to the bank, because that was something like before they would even approve us for any amount of money, they were like, we need to know what home you want to build. So those. And they will go both ways. You can go in and see what you would be approved for, and then kind of attempt to find plans that way. And you cannot finalize at all until they approve the plan, because they have to do the budgeting on their end to know that it's within. You can also finance land from the bank. Like I do know that, because they've said you can finance the land from us and then use that to build, but you have to go in with like kind of a rough plan, versus I know that when some people buy, they just more or less go to the bank, say how much can we get approved for, and then they start looking. Home building is just, it's such a different process, because you also have to, and we did a custom home, which is also different than a spec home. You have to pay mortgage payments as the home is being built. I don't know if that's true for a spec home. Like if a builder's basically already said, this is the home I'm building right here, this is how much it's going to cost. If you buy it before it's finished, I don't know if you have to pay home payments in the meantime, but we actually had a mortgage while we also had rent. So it's a lot tighter as far as like budget goes. But we were projected to take about a year, and it was right at 11 and a half or 11 months. I guess we've been in this home for a month. It was 11 months, but our builder was great. Our subs were great. Everyone was so quick and efficient and working on weekends. Because when I started to show up as we were, nearing the end, a lot of our subs would like look at me and they'd be like, oh my God, that's our homeowner. And they knew that I was getting more pregnant. Like they would talk to Sam and they'd be like, oh, she's due soon. And they were really quick to get the job done. So we're very grateful for everyone who worked on this home. But as far as just the process, that's all really that we know. You just have to have a higher credit score, more money down, and at least where we went. You have to have an idea of what you're gonna build, or have a floor plan already picked out when you go and just say, we wanna build a home, how much money can you give us? This is what we're thinking.
And I would always recommend one-time close if you can.
Oh my gosh, that made things so easy. Yeah. We did not realize, I kept saying, we have to close again. We have a closing with the bank, and we didn't realize because it was just such a blur time. We did a one-time close, so we only had closing costs one time. We only had to go to the table with our attorney one time. And when we finished on this home, I keep still calling it a closing. Literally, it was like, okay, you passed your inspection. Bye.
Final draws approved.
It was the most anticlimactic end to this whole thing, and I was like, wait, is that it? And they were like, yeah, just go get your keys from your builder. Your home's beautiful, congrats. And we were like, oh, okay. So one-time close, definitely recommend if possible. It made everything so much easier at the end, because also when you go back into underwriting, you don't go into underwriting the same. They more or less are just dotting their I's and crossing their T's. It's not the same full approval process and then going back to the attorney. So one-time close was great. Features to splurge on versus save on for a new build. Ooh.
I think your kitchen. Is going to be.
I would say
it's a focal point, and you're going to spend a lot of time there.
I would say I would agree with that, but I'd also say anything that's big. So for instance, the floors. I think your floors are something you could splurge on versus your doors. You don't necessarily have to have doors can be so expensive. You don't necessarily have to have the baddest and bougiest doors right now. That may be something so strange, but I would say, yeah, the kitchen is definitely a good one.
The only thing about floors though is the engineered floors are so good nowadays. You don't feel like you need hardwood to feel like you've gotten a good product.
God, that's so true.
You can save a lot of money and get a really nice floor.
Everyone's moving to LVP.
Hardwood, because hardwood has a lot of maintenance that you have to do.
Yeah, everyone's moving to LVP. We have LVP in this home. The flooring guy who sold us this flooring was like, I did this in my house. I'm obsessed with it. It's the best thing ever. Everyone's moving to it because it's just, you get the same look, but it's a lot less maintenance. It's way easier to install. It's way more affordable.
Waterproof wise, it's significantly better. Real hardwood that's sealed and coated is great, but
I think the hardwood floor, if we would have gotten the same look, would have been 3 times this price. Minimum. We didn't answer. What's something you would save on for a new build?
Something we did save on, our boys' bathroom stuff is vinyl inserts for both.
Yeah, that made a huge difference.
Yeah. Ezra has a tub shower combo. Ro just has a standing shower, but they're vinyl inserts because they're way cheaper than trying to fully tile a kid's or guest room that you know is going to be rarely used or something. There's no reason to pay thousands for like real tile, floor to ceiling.
What was the most stressful part? Planning, building, fine details? All of it. It ain't for the faint of heart. I have a residential design, or I have a design degree. I worked in residential for years. And this one, I mean, it knocked me on my ass, y'all. This was, and I do think that some of it did have to do with the fact that I was pregnant with Roman, and we were so aware of like every little minor delay that would happen, even if it was like we had some subs get injured at different jobs, and they like couldn't come for like a week or two. And it was just like every day that passed was like a little bit more stressful because we knew we were approaching this. But I would say just like, it's kind of, it was cool, but not for me. So yes, it's stressful because I consider this like wedding planning. I would say I'm so thankful to be doing it, but at the same time, I'm ready for it to be over. Like that's how wedding planning feels. It's like you're so grateful and you were so excited, but you're like, oh my God, I want it to be over. It was so annoying to me at the time to like have to pick out trim for our like house and our doors, and to pick out our doors and to pick out our windows. Like I was just like, this is so annoying, and I just have to now really think about it. What if it doesn't come together? But on this side of it, I look at it, I'm like, wow, we picked out every single aspect of this house, and it's super cool. But I would say the very stressful part, especially having been the residential designer for a while, is I know that sometimes how much a simple decision can really have a domino effect and things not go right or not look good. I was really afraid that the decisions I had made 9-10 months ago were gonna not look good altogether, but thankfully it all came together really nice. Order of events from buying land, paying builders, etc. Just to kind of quickly go over that, it really is, it depends on your bank.
You're paying your builder is going to be entirely between the bank and your builder.
Yeah.
The draw schedules, once that's established, each bank is going to have different draw processes potentially.
Yep.
Whatever.
So the first bank we were going to go with, you were only allowed 4 draws. Yep. This one we ended up going with, completely different situation. They had no cap on draws at all.
Yep. You just, the draws and everything with it, every time there's a draw, it changes what your build mortgage will be for the
And a draw is a literal, like, the contractor draws money out from the bank.
Contractor says, I've spent $100,000, I need $100,000 on this.
Yeah.
And they go, cool, here's your reimbursement.
Yeah,
and
so.
Whatever. And it comes out of your overall budget. That's all your bank. You don't actually pay your builder direct.
I would say, just a rough process though, for us, again, it's different if you choose to also finance your land. For us, it was purchase the land, use that as a down payment along with cash to take to the bank. We got approved after the millions of pieces of paperwork that they needed from us. And then we started the home building process. And I think, again, that goes just really up to your builder. I cannot recommend enough getting a good builder that you trust, and like, you know, you just hear so many horror stories. He really laid out what the process was gonna be for us as far as like the step-by-step. And so we would go, okay, we're doing this now, what's next? So it was like, all right, you've got framing, and next up we've got this, and next up we've got that. I don't know if we really answered that question. But
a lot of that stuff though is gonna be with whatever bank you end up going with. And like you
always, it's really up to them.
You always can get approved for an amount that is purchase plus build. And so you don't own land, but part of your contract is you're purchasing this amount of land to build a home, and you know, those are all gonna be up to your bank. I would say definitely don't, if you have the option, don't get a builder that's building 25 homes, 30 homes a year. Find somebody that's doing
not a
like
flex, y'all.
2 to 5 that you can actually ask questions and know they're available.
I hear so many horror stories. Like, it's not a flex when they're building 25, 30 homes. I hear so many horror stories about those guys versus the ones who are building like 10 or less, 6 or less, 5 or less. But like, it's one of those things. It's, yeah, you want them to have a good reputation. You want to see a lot of their work, but that it's just, I hear so many bad stories about the 25, 35, 50 plus home builders a year. It's just chaos. That doesn't mean that's always the case, but from what we've heard, that is. How did you decide on all the little details? I would be so overwhelmed. Yeah, same. Was very, it's just, you have to take it in stride. You just have to accept that, you know, you want to build a home and it's 100% yours. You're just gonna have to do it. I did see a question in here, and this is one that, something you didn't do that you wish you did. We kind of already answered that, didn't we? But
that we wish. So there's like this weird thing that I had mentioned about moving one wall.
Oh my God.
Some extra floor space. It's not a big deal, but it would have given us like an extra 200 square foot of space.
I don't think it's ever.
And it was just one of those last minute, once we had been here, things. I was like, wow, this could have been easy change. The outdoor kitchen obviously was just a cost thing, but like, we do want the outdoor kitchen. That is going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen for sure. Next year too, for sure. How did you save for it? Just bought a home in October and thinking of our forever home. So this is different for everybody, but for us, we opened up a savings account specifically for building a home in February of 2019, I believe is when it was. And we just put money aside as much as we possibly could. But the biggest thing is, we would not have been able to build as fast, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, had it not, like, we wouldn't have been able to build this home, and this is the kind of home, like size home we wanted, everything. We wouldn't have been able to do it had COVID not happened. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Not meaning like, oh my God, that sounded terrible. Not meaning like COVID itself, but when 2020 happened, everything came to a complete pause, including student loan interest. Sam and I both went to private colleges. We both have student loans, not tons in the grand scheme, but a substantial amount. And they put a pause on the interest. So anything you paid went directly towards your principal. At the time when, like at the start, January 2020, I had a car payment and then we both had student loans. I don't think CarMax did anything different. So basically I took all of the money that we were paying for our student loans and my car payment and just threw it at the car, got the car completely paid off, and then the forbearance kept continuing. So I ended up just paying so much money because I had a little bit more than Sam to get all of my student loans completely paid off. And then I paid my loans off in October of 21. So that freed up a substantial amount of money that we were then able to put aside. Now we still have been paying extra on Sam's. He will be, like, his student loans will be completely gone by the end of this year. That was just a preference we made to like keep his open, because also you do still need some lines of credit to build. I'm just being honest with you when I say that had the forbearance not happened, we wouldn't have been able to pay off student loans as quickly. We would not have been able to build as quickly. So I'm just gonna be honest with you, that was our situation. And also, if you watch our initial home build Q&A, you heard the process. Actually 2020 happened and the land around us was kind of sitting and nothing was really happening. And we went to a bank and we're told, hey, we need different, one more year of taxes for your business and this and that. So we were gonna have to wait until 2021. And by the time we went to the bank and we're like, okay, we're ready to build, the land that's directly behind ours, a developer had purchased. So it absolutely shot up the land value of this home, and it ended up, we had a bigger down payment to take just by land value. So we got very, very blessed, but that's just kind of our situation, and I just want to be truthful about that. I can't give you like crazy tips other than just monthly. We put aside money monthly and had a specific savings account for it. What does the home plan have versus what do you have to pick out, like fixtures, tiles, style, etc.?
The floor plan was pencil drawings on grid paper dimensions. It had nothing to pick.
It was literally black lines and we got to pick everything.
That's not to say every plan, like there are plans that come with like recommended pre-finishes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to spec home,
designer, you could go find a designer that would do all that for you potentially.
If you go with the spec home, I do recommend hiring a designer if you're doing custom. People think they're thousands and thousands. They're really not. Find one you trust, but that would take the stress off of it for sure. But no, you pick 100% of it. The light switch locations in this room, the outlet locations, the door handles, the way the doors swing, the trim, the doors, the windows, how high off the floor the windows are. I mean, you pick everything. And yes, you can pick a floor plan that you want, but do know that if you pick a floor plan and you don't love every single thing about it, It's all just a suggestion. And that's what I had so many times. I would be like, well, what's the floor plan say? And the builder would come back and be like, well, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, no, but we picked the floor plan because we liked it. So what's that say first? And then from there, we would kind of decide if we wanted that or not. So when you're doing a custom build specifically, all of it, 100% is up to you, even the exterior. I mean, what kind of steps you have, what handrails you have, what color gutters you have. It's a lot. We picked the roof underneath our front porch, like every single
And
bit.
what material and what color it was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, everything. And it gets overwhelming and you're like, I don't care. But it's worth it in the end. Were you surprised by the cost of things? I know we were when we remodeled a few years ago, and then someone else said, like, you know, is it more cost effective to do custom? So
I wouldn't speak on if it's more cost effective. Probably not to do custom.
Not.
Especially if you go with someone that is more of like a track home builder. They're buying the stuff in bulk because they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You probably would save on the material, but the material prices now compared to where they were in 2020 are better. So that was the second thing, like the year and a half delay we had due to some of the COVID and needing taxes and stuff actually kind of helped us come back to where lumber had went back down.
Yep. But the cost of people went up.
Yeah, not back to the prices it was pre-COVID, but like the material cost came down significantly.
It was just the cost of labor had gone up substantially. But I would say I was surprised by the cost of things. However, custom home building is different than spec home. Spec home, you're gonna go to a builder and he's gonna go, these are the 6 exteriors you can pick from. These are the 3 door kinds you can pick from. And your budget is a little bit tighter there. Custom home, I would say you have potential for it to be much more expensive because let's say just like you were approved for $100,000 and you go in and you find these floors that you absolutely love and it's gonna make your house cost like $120,000. You're gonna have to offset that $20,000. You're gonna have to pay that out of your pocket, and the bank's still only gonna give you $100,000. Bank's never gonna come back and go, yeah, we'll give you that much more money.
It's different every bank.
Yeah, but ours was like, absolutely not. This is your money that you get. So custom home building can be more expensive. There was a lot more me having to go, what's the budget numbers on this? How are we doing on the budget numbers here? What's the cost of that? Because you very easily can find something you love and it can really shoot your budget way, way over. Of course, you know, your builder gives you a cost breakdown of everything, but if we would have fallen in love with some other kind of floor that was 3 times what he originally had budgeted, you know, that would have been on us to pay. So there was a lot of that, but I would not say I was necessarily surprised by the cost of things. I was just surprised by the cost of labor. And I mean, it was still a little difficult to get people out and actually do the home build. Like, I feel like there were some times I was still like, we just can't find people to do the work.
The cost of things is interesting because like a lot of the stuff that you think is going to be expensive is prepped to be expensive, and then it's like the minor things like, oh, we need trim in the house, and you look and you're like, oh, we need 500 linear feet of trim. Like, oh, that's actually a lot of money when you start really, like, we don't have crown in this house. Crown's expensive when you start learning that many linear feet.
Yeah, we talked about crown and we were like, no.
We didn't really want it, but then also like that is a big expense if you want it in every room.
And that's a good upgrade in the future too. Crown's a really nice, the designer I worked for, that was something she always did when she moved into a new home. She would go in, that's the first thing she would do. She would put crown in every single room.
I like that.
Why did you choose to go a single story?
I'll let you be able to get old here and not have to climb stairs.
So I grew up in a home that has stairs, and my parents still live in that home, and they don't ever really go upstairs. But also, this is gonna sound really ridiculous. I used to get really mad, and as a teenager, you know, you're going through it. It would take me forever to be dramatic and like storm off upstairs with the stairs. And I just always was like so annoyed with how long and far away my bedroom was, because it wasn't even that my bedroom was not that far away, but it was just I had to go up all these stairs. Cleaning the stairs is not fun. Like I've watched my mother clean stairs before. It looks miserable. Safety. I knew I was gonna have young kids here, but yeah, I mean, we want to.
It definitely is very quick as your kids age out on a space that's unused. Because it's inconvenient. I'm not gonna go upstairs to a room to watch TV or to make it a craft room or whatever thing. It's just easier.
Did we ever look at anything that had stairs? I don't even think
this
we
same plan with the the extra stuff upstairs because we had talked about doing the like playroom upstairs for the kids.
But that's it, right? We never really like entertained.
No,
okay.
we did not look at any 2-story homes because of that.
Yeah, we both were pretty agreeable because he also lived downstairs at his parents' house, and it was like 14 stairs to get down to his bedroom. And it was just like a lot.
The basement.
So, were there any specifics that you wanted but had to give up?
The outdoor grill.
The outdoor grill. Oh my gosh, you guys. When I say I almost fell out of my chair when I saw the estimate, I mean I almost fell out of my chair. I did not realize that I mean, I'd say it's large, but it's nothing insane. There wasn't a ton of different features to it, and I was shook at how much money that outdoor grill was gonna cost. And actually the home plan that we saw, they built everything according to how the plans were laid out except for the outdoor grill, because I guarantee you they built everything and then they looked at it and they were like, yeah, no.
We'll just roll the grill out.
Yeah, it's insane. So we will be doing that in the future, but whew, that was not something we could justify paying for at the time of the build when there were other things that we wanted. Did you get a custom 100% or did your builder give you options to pick from? 100% custom.
Yeah.
So how did you save to build a home, and when did you know you had enough saved? So this was, again, it kind of worked in our favor. We went and were like ready to build when I was newly pregnant with Ezra, and they were like, hey, we need more taxes for your business, so you're gonna have to wait until this coming spring. And actually the lady was super helpful and said, we would love for you to have this number. Like, she saw how much we had in our savings. She saw how much the land was roughly valued at. And so she was the one who was like, I would love this number if possible. Cause she would have been our agent.
And that number is based on what you're asking for. So it's gonna be different for everybody.
Yeah.
Every bank.
Yeah. And
different credit scores.
So I mean, ask.
So, yeah.
Just either ask or look up for your area. But she was very open and honest, and she was like, I mean, this is fine. She was like, but if you could get to this, that would be ideal. So that's kind of how.
Start with whoever you bank with, because more than likely they're not going to charge you for a consult to like sit down and talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
And they can talk about a lot of that without actually running your credit.
And they can look at your bank account. Like, we had a savings account with them, so she could literally just go into our savings account and see how much money we had, and like she could see how much, like, she didn't need I think she needed us to sign a paper that she could look at our bank statements or something from his work or something like that, but she could immediately go in and just see how much money we were making, so it was a lot quicker.
Again, without having to check and run your actual credit. If you're just inquiring first, you can do that.
Yeah,
do that
don't let them just pull your credit just because you go sit down with them, because that's gonna hit every time. Do you alter a preset floor plan or start from scratch? Yeah, we altered slightly. I say when I look at what we actually did, we altered very few things. But it wasn't even major. I'd say the most major was honestly just like removing the closets. But I'm so glad after we saw that floor plan the other day, we did not add overhead cabinets in the laundry room. I feel like we
made a lot of minor changes that makes a big difference, but it was a lot of minor stuff. Like, we added up 1 foot to the total width of the house off of the master bedroom. Made it a foot wider so that it made the closet, the bathroom, and the bedroom bigger. We took out this entryway closet to instead have the nook and the fridge space in the pantry, which is, I'd much rather have a fridge in the pantry than have a closet right here.
That was a good call. And then the last one, did y'all pick a floor plan you had walked through before or only seen on paper? And I actually have a recommendation for this. We had not walked through it.
I don't think it had been built when we bought it. At the time we bought it, it was only rendered. There weren't even actual pictures of built. Yeah,
I think actually the home pictures that we saw, I bet that house was built right around the same time ours was, because it had no one living in it, like it was for sale still. And it looked brand freaking new, like the landscaping had not even done. So I saw that this was something I literally just saw a tip today, and I so recommend doing it, because if we would have done it, I feel like we would have maybe, this goes back to if you could do anything different, what would you have done? Roman's bathroom is like, the bathroom closet situation is a lot smaller than it felt like it was gonna be. So I saw someone say, if you are planning on building a home, go outside and draw in the dirt what size the bedrooms claim that they are, or go like stake them out in your yard yourself if you can. And that is such a good piece of advice, because I feel like I love the size of Roman's bedroom. I love the size of Ezra's bedroom. Ezra's bathroom closet situation is great. I feel like if I would have stood in Roman's bathroom closet setup, I would have been like, nope, this needs to be bigger.
See, and my afterthought to change that wall and add more square footage would have made his bathroom bigger.
Oh,
because it would have drugged that whole wall over.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's the one thing, but camera battery's dying. We've talked enough, so I hope we answered y'all's questions. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for supporting us through our home build and loving on us and loving this house. We love it so much. So we're very grateful. Thank y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.